Welcome to the Argonauts. My name is Tyler and I live with my partner Ben on a 28-foot sailboat called Our Choice. We're both 23 years old, we're living on a budget and are definitely beginners when it comes to the liveaboard lifestyle. Subscribe to follow our journey as we travel slowly around the world. Hi, in this episode we finally leave Felixstowe Ferry after buying the boat there and moving on board back in August last year, and then spending about 11 months living on our mooring buoy and in the boatyard. So on the 19th of June we left and headed towards Shotley, which is just in between where the River Orwell and the River Stour meet, opposite Harwich. It's only about 7 nautical miles away from Felixstowe Ferry. We wanted to keep the trip nice and short because it was the first time we'd been out in the boat on the sea, but also when planning the trip, Brightlingsea being our final destination for the weekend, we wanted to leave Felixstowe Ferry at high tide because of the spit and the narrow channel at the mouth of the Devon, but we also wanted to arrive in Brightlingsea at high tide so that we could get into the harbour with no problems with the depth. We decided to stop in Shotley in between because they have a lock so that we could get in at any time, it meant that we were able to both leave Felixstowe Ferry at high tide and arrive in Brightlingsea at high tide too. Our original plan was to wait for a really nice calm day to go out on the sea for the first time in the boat, but we ended up having to leave as soon as we could because we found out it was harder than we thought it would be to book Ben a VHF radio license course and exam. So we had to get to Brightlingsea by a certain date, which I think was good because it gave us that kind of push that we needed to actually start travelling. It was really sad to leave Felixstowe Ferry after spending such a long time living there. We really couldn't have asked for a nicer and more friendly place to have been staying whilst we were getting to know Our Choice. We ended up motoring for most of the 2-hour trip to Shotley. We did get the head sail out for a few minutes but put it back in again pretty much straight away because it was just a bit too windy and wavy, and I was more focused on being okay with how much the boat was rocking around in the waves.
Are you having fun?
Loads of fun, yeah. Are you having fun, Tyler?
I'm not sure.
You're not sure?
I'm not sure.
Well, do you like it?
The waves are a lot bigger than I thought they were going to be.
Yeah?
Yeah.
So you're not a fan of the waves?
No, I don't like the waves. The boat
Do you feel safe?
No.
That's not what you're meant to say.
Safe?
I feel incredibly safe. I feel alive, Tyler. It's amazing.
A bit too alive.
There's nothing to worry about. It's not that bad. It's only a little bit choppy.
It feels very choppy.
I was so relieved when we arrived in Shotley, and was feeling really nervous about the trip we had planned to Brightlingsea the next day because I knew that it was going to take a lot longer to get there.
scared, huh?
Standing on your two knees, baby, tell me what do you need? Oh, oh, oh. Standing on your 2 feet, baby, it's how it's got to be. You want me to be your mother, but you know I'm too young, too young. You want me to be your sister, but you know I'm too old, too old. You think I'm gonna raise you like a kid, but no matter the love I give, whoa, it's time to show improvement. Gotta move, do what you gotta do, do what you gotta do. So, standing on your 2 knees, baby, tell me what do you need? Oh, oh, oh. Standing on your 2 feet, baby, is how it's got to be.
After parking up the boat and going for some dinner, we went for a walk, and I found out from my parents as well that I actually spent a lot of time in Shotley as a child because my grandparents had a caravan nearby. Whilst looking around the village, we accidentally walked into an old Navy training site and were asked to leave by security.
We're gonna go and try and see that boat over there.
Where the Navy used to train.
Right, okay.
So that's basically the landmark thing for it, basically. Whereabouts did you come in?
Just, well, we were walking along the footpath from the marina.
Right.
And, I mean, there was just a little footpath veering off to the side, and there was
I
like
see.
a big old hole in the fence, but
Yeah.
there wasn't any signs or anything.
Oh, okay.
And I just kind of looked across the field and I saw this, I was like, I've got to go check that out, you know?
They look like they're dancing.
Man, I love you and I just wanna be your woman, your woman. But I'm tired of your traveling ass. Whoa. You take me for a fool, thinking I don't know what you're doing. No. Hanging out in the club with your fake ass crew. So, standing on your 2 knees, baby, tell me what do you need? Oh, oh. Standing on your 2 feet, baby, is how it's got to be.
Where are we, Ben?
Our boat.
Yeah, but where are we?
We're in Shotley Marina. Yeah, we're in Shotley Marina, which is on the south coast of East Anglia in Suffolk. And tomorrow we're going to be heading to Brightlingsea. Woo! Woo!
Since that first trip on the sea to Shotley, I've made sure that we tidy up a lot more before going sailing, because this was the state of the inside after everything had been chucked around by the waves. The trip from Shotley to Brightlingsea was about 25 nautical miles, and it took us roughly 6 hours. We sailed the whole way there. Yeah, it was really cool to be able to turn the engine off for such a long time and whilst out at sea as well.
Engines off. The sails are up. How are you feeling, Tyler? Better than yesterday?
Much better than yesterday.
It's a lot less waving. Got a nice low breeze, going like 4 knots. We've just got the auto tiller set up for the first time.
No, you don't look good.
Well, we're doing 5.5 knots now, and we're ahead of schedule. It's a bit misty, but
Where are we going?
we're heading towards Brightlingsea. And at this rate, we should be there in 4, maybe 5 hours.
Standing on your 2 knees, baby. Tell me, what do you need? Oh, standing on your 2 feet, baby, is how it's got to be. You gotta raise your hands to the sky and feel the love in your eyes. You gotta make a move, you gotta make it through. You gotta be real to yourself and prove. You gotta stand up, baby, stand up. You got to stand up, baby, stand up. La-di-dun, die, 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 die.
We stayed on an island pontoon while we were in Brightlingsea, which was kind of halfway between being on a buoy and being in a marina. So we still had to use the dinghy to get to shore, and we didn't have electricity or water on the pontoon, but you could still step off the boat and walk around on the pontoon without having to use the dinghy. It was a bit harder to park the boat there because we were kind of going into a space between 2 boats, like parallel parking, rather than going into our own space with like a finger pontoon next to us.
You're the only thing interesting about your
Anything interesting enough to film. Oh, it's very sweet.
What are you doing, Ben?
Well, the tide has gone out. And I'm trying to get our dinghy into the water.
We spent around a week in Brightlingsea so that we would be there on the 26th of June, which was the day Ben did his VHF radio license course and exam. He passed the test, which was amazing. I think if not, we probably would have been stuck there for a few months waiting for the chance to try again. So yeah, that was great. Thank you so much for watching. Please like the video and leave a comment. Let us know what you think, and if you have any questions, subscribe so you don't miss a video. And the next one will be us making our way from Brightlingsea to Queenborough on the Isle of Sheppey in Kent.